Welcome back to another episode of Millennial Gems. I am your host, Akila McIntosh. I am a QuickBooks certified pro advisor, and I help entrepreneurs and business owners organize their financial transactions. And so today we're going to talk about bookkeeping business softwares. So whether you're looking to start a bookkeeping business, or if you already have a bookkeeping business, or contemplating maybe starting a bookkeeping business, I'll just give you some of the softwares that I currently use, and maybe you might want to switch, or um, maybe maybe want to offer up what you currently use down in the comments or so. But we're just gonna go through what I use and what I think is probably best to use to have at least the essentials. So let's begin. All right. So the first thing is accounting software. First thing you're going to need to know is which software are you going to use. Now, there are quite a couple softwares out there that you can use. I would say, obviously, the most popular one, most used one is QuickBooks. I probably don't know anybody who really uses Xero, but that is an option. There's some other ones out there, but QuickBooks is probably the most popular one out there to use. And so when it comes to QuickBooks, you want to make sure you're using the online version and not the desktop version. The reason you want to stay away from the desktop version is because you can only use it on the computer that it's on, versus like online, which is a cloud-based software where you can access it from any piece of technology on your iPad, your phone, another computer from anywhere in the world. You can access QuickBooks from anywhere. So it's best to use cloud-based software. I did do an episode on QuickBooks Online versus QuickBooks Desktop, so you can go back into previous episodes that I've done and talked about that. But you want to use a cloud-based software simply because, one, it's going to be probably a little easier to use. You want to obviously choose a platform that's easier to use, but it's going to probably be easier to use, and it's going to automate most of the work. So, I think bookkeeping back then was a lot more of a using like Excel and putting things manually into Excel, right? Where now we're in the age of technology. So the software will, automatically kind of plug everything in, and you just need to kind of just make sure it's categorized and, just review to make sure that all the information is correct and that it's being put in the right areas. So QuickBooks, I would say, is the accounting software you use, but again, you need to choose an accounting software. Next is G Suite. So every business needs to have to have a professional email. You want to obviously look as professional as possible, so that way people will take you serious, and because you're asking people for their money, and you want people to take you seriously. So having a business email using G Suite, I think it's like $6 or $7 a month I pay. You can get yourself a business email. Like my business email is bookkeeping@millennialgems.com. Right? You don't want to use a Gmail, Yahoo, AOL. You want to look serious. So whatever it is, at your business name or at your company's name.com. That's what you want to use. I also use G Suite because, one, it also gives me Google Meet, so I don't have to use like Zoom. It has Google Meets for like video chat, so any consultations, if I need to meet with a client, if I have any questions down the line about anything, I can just meet with a client for a few minutes or so, kind of just talk there. Also, Google Calendar, link to my Google Calendar. So any meetings or set reminders I need, Google Calendar. So G Suite will give you all of these things here. And again, you kind of just have everything streamlined in one space, so instead of like using like multiple platforms for one business email, another one to have like video chat meetings, and another one to, schedule meetings and stuff like that. But G Suite is definitely, I believe, an essential part of starting a bookkeeping business, or any business in general. You're going to need a website. Obviously, all businesses need a website. This is literally bread and butter. Like, you need an online presence. So, the first thing you want to establish is a domain. You can get a domain from Squarespace. You can get it from GoDaddy. But you just want to get the domain in your business name. Like mine is millennialgemsbk.com. Simple. And you can, build out your website by yourself, or if, you want to pay somebody to do it, you can go to like Fiverr or Upwork and pay somebody to you know, build you a website or so. But if you're ambitious enough and you want to kind of build it out yourself, you can always go to Squarespace and Wix. That's what I did. I built up my website by myself. Um, and then a scheduling tool. Now, I know there probably are different like scheduling tools out there to use. I use Acuity because it's already partnered and powered by Squarespace. So I think Squarespace acquired Acuity, so that's why they're kind of working hand in hand. So like when you set up your Squarespace website, you can also pay for an Acuity subscription, and then when people want to book with you, like book a consultation or book any type of like just quick meetings or so, Acuity will attach that to your website, so it'll be kind of be streamlined right there. So if you're definitely in a service-based business, something like Acuity would definitely be a good tool to have. CRMs. So CRMs are customer relationship management tools, platforms. So mainly with CRMs, these are to help kind of really the hub for managing clients. So, you can do your contract signings here. You can do your invoicing here, accepting payments, sending them out. You can do your lead generations, anybody who's potentially looking to work with you. And so you have a couple platforms you can choose, Monday, Honeybook, NetSuite. These are plenty of platforms that you can choose from. I don't use either one of these because one, my invoicing would be done through QuickBooks because it offers invoicing already. And also, um, like I just don't need to I can also manage my clients as well on QuickBooks. So I would say mainly anybody who's in like a service-based business, again, like one of these platforms would definitely be great for you. But I use specifically PandaDoc. That's a little like more expensive, but it might be a little bit expensive, but it's mainly I mainly just use it just for document signing. So and I have a contract with my business for everybody who comes on as a client. There's a contract you have to sign, and so what I'll do is I'll put it into PandaDoc. I'll set up all the spaces that need to be electronically signed. Then I can send it out to that potential client. They receive it, they can electronically sign it, and then send it back to me. And what I love about PandaDoc is the fact that it'll show when a person opens it, when they sign it, and when you receive it back. So um, it's definitely a great tool. Again, it might be a little bit on the expensive side for some people, but again, I want to have the best tools to help run my business and most necessary. Um, but again, that's just what I use. Not really a CRM, but it's a good tool to use if you don't want to go like a full on CRM. Obviously, social media. We live in a digital era now, so everything is content is where the money is. So you need some way to market and advertise yourself. So you have places like LinkedIn where you can put your services out there to kind of you know promote yourself. Maybe might gain clients from there. I haven't really gained too many clients from LinkedIn, but again, I'm gonna keep trying. Um, Obviously, Instagram, TikTok reels, making short videos, making carousel posts, things that people can show that you're an expert in your field. There's obviously Facebook groups that you can use. I use Facebook groups mainly to find like business owners and stuff like that. Maybe even potentially find other bookkeepers so that way we can kind of just like network with each other. But joining Facebook groups is definitely a good idea as well. Uh, and then we got YouTube, which is pretty much like the new age education. You can find everything on YouTube. So creating content like this for you guys is why I'm doing it. This is helping promote my business here, promote what I do, show you guys my expertise. So definitely creating YouTube. Now you don't have to do every one of these social media platforms. You can just choose from maybe like two of them or so. Like I mainly use specifically YouTube because I like making the long form content. And then I can also upload this to my podcast as well, my podcast platform. And then like I use like Instagram, kind of just create like the shorter content um and like posts and stuff like that. And then the Facebook groups, like I said, I just mainly kind of use that just to kind of find and network with other business owners. But yes, you definitely need social media for marketing and advertising. So just to quickly kind of go over everything again, kind of recap. So you need an accounting software. Again, my recommendation is QuickBooks. G Suite, definitely best to get that business email. You know, if you need to do Google Meetings, Calendar, G Suite definitely the best platform for that. Obviously, you need a website. I would set it up through Squarespace, but again, you have options of how you want to set up your website. You need a CRM, some way to manage your clients. Again, I use PandaDoc. You can always use things like DocuSign, um, other things like that. But again, I use PandaDoc. And then social media. You need some way to promote your business, some way to market and advertise your services. So, are you somebody who needs full service bookkeeping? Well, you can visit my website, millennialgems.com, millennialgemsbk.com. I'll leave that down in the show notes, and I'll also leave that down in the in the YouTube description box. And you can also follow my social media pages. On Instagram, I'm at Millennial Gems. I'm also official Aquila on Instagram, YouTube, and Threads. So again, I'll leave all this down in the podcast show notes and on YouTube's description. So that wraps up another episode of Millennial Gems. Again, reach out if you have any questions. Feel free to comment, DM me, anything you have about bookkeeping, seeking services. Again, just DM me, comment me, and maybe we can do some business together. Peace.